In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to stitch basket weave in a sashing. The basket weave pattern is stitched with alternating zigzag lines, and for this design, because it changes direction, I'm going to use just a ruler and a chalk marker to just roughly map out the space for each design. So these chalk lines are really just reference points for me to change direction, and I like using chalk on quilts because it just really rubs off most of the time. You don't really want to really dig in deep with the chalk, but just gently mark it just so that you can see. To start the basket weave, what I like to do is either start on an edge where I can hide the thread or start stitching on a previous line. So here I'm pulling up the bobbin thread and I'm going to take a couple of small stitches to lock the threads and then start the basket weave. I'm starting this basket weave in a vertical position because the sashing below it is horizontal. So I wanted these designs to really link in with one another and look continuous. To stitch the basket weave, what you really want to do is, as you're stitching, you want to make sure that your last line ends up in a space where you can change direction successfully. So when you're traveling up and down, you want to make sure that your last stitch is in the up position so that you can change position from left to right. You can actually, in this basket weave, stitch on either side when you're stitching from left to right, but when you're stitching up and down, you want to make sure that you stop in the up position so that you're able to change direction. This is really an organic design, so I don't worry about whether I'm stitching evenly or how many. I don't count how many up and down movements I have. I just kind of stitch to make sure that the space gets filled. And at the end of this, you just stop and try to stop on an edge or stop stitching in a space where you can sort of hide your stitching. So I actually hid this stitch on the edge of a circle. I bury my threads, so just pull up enough thread so that you can bury the threads later. And that's really the end of basket weave.